Not till I get to the office. You have to be patient. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DM Noob. I am Mike. I am the DM Noob, and it's a pleasure to see you again. I hope you enjoyed the first video. This is number 2, but it's also the first video in a very special series I've decided to do, bringing some of my other skills to the DM table, specifically sleight of hand and magic. D&D is a very magical game anyway, so it seemed natural to bring that to the table. Now, I wanted to give a quick disclaimer. I will be, throughout this video series, teaching some sleight of hand. I will not be monetizing this. I am not claiming credit for any of this. This is simply openly public stuff that I wanted to share with you that I have used at the table to great effect. And I want to talk to you about how and why. There are some more deep subjects in later videos that we're going to discuss that I will not be sharing exact methods, but I will be pointing you in the direction of where you can learn them, some very amazing stuff. So let me give you a brief rundown of me. We talked a little bit about me, which is my favorite subject in the last video. I have been doing magic most of my life. I started in the very late 70s with my first trick. It's very similar to what you're going to see today. And it just blossomed from there, grew from there. I went through several different phases. As many magicians do. I was doing classic manipulations. At one point, I went to card magic for a very long time. I went to card magic because, unlike a bird or a rabbit, this isn't going to shit in your pocket. So, big plus there. I did bizarre magic, which is storytelling magic, kind of creepy, occult, bizarre storytelling magic. And it is my favorite to this day. I don't perform it anymore, but I've rekindled my love of it by bringing it to the table. There are many resources on that, in particular, my good friend Mike Fraughton and his book, The Dark Waltz. If you can find that book, that is. It is probably, in my opinion, one of the best tomes on bizarre magic because he is easily one of the finest bizarre magicians alive today. He's simply spectacular, and I learned so much from him. We've been friends for 25 years, and a fantastic guy, such a brilliant performer, and he taught me so many things about bizarre magic that I've been able to bring to the DM table, which is a little bit about what this video series is about. I dabbled in mentalism, mind reading, which isn't actually mind reading, but damn, it sure can seem at times like it is. And we're going to discuss that at great length later on in later videos. But so I want to move into why sleight of hand at the table, which is the crux of this whole video series. But why? I use it for 2 reasons. Number one, and I am guilty of this, but if you tell me a DM who is not, I'll tell you a liar. I have been known, well, I'm not known because my players don't know, I have in the past used sleight of hand techniques to manipulate the outcome of a game. My players are very familiar with the character that they met in session 0, very first get-together that we had with this current group, called the Game Master, who looks like Marty Feldman from Young Frankenstein, except he's purple. And he brings games and little chants and scams and stuff to the players. And they now look for him when they go to inns and taverns. They see if he's there, because at times he can be very generous to the players. In our very first session, we played a game where he simply held out a piece of paper and said, I want you to tell me what's on the other side of this piece of paper. If you lose, you're losing 5 hit points. If you win, You get 5 temporary hit points for the remainder of this part of the adventure. It was a lot more in depth than that, but then he held up the piece of paper and he put copper, silver, and a gold coin on the table. The players would then take any one of those coins, toss it in the air, and it would hit either heads or tails on the table. And whatever it was, let's say it was gold heads up, that's what would be on the piece of paper. Now I can rig this. I'm going to go into more detail about that particular bit of fun on a later video, but I've done it where I've not rigged it and they've lost, but I can rig it on a moment's notice and make it what I want it to be. And I can make a deck of cards that sing and dance any way I want. So in situations where, like, let's say, God forbid, the deck of many things, and I need my players to have a little bit of a leg up, yeah, I can do that. Or the tarot card deck. If I need things to go a certain way, I can make them go a certain way. But I'm the DM, I'm allowed. Now, I've never, ever used this against my players, ever. Nor will I, because that is horrible to do that, to use my powers for evil. But I will use it for good if there's a situation like, let's say they've fought the vampire queen and they're feeling pretty down, or a really bad batch of story, or something's happened where they're feeling a little roughed up or they're in a hard way. I will use little pieces of sleight of hand to manipulate things ever so slightly in their favor. Again, never against them. Don't ever do it against them. But the other reason I do this is the more important reason, which is the DM Dungeon Master Dojo people have talked at great length about this, and I love it because it's something I'm a very firm believer in, and that's the unwritten contract between you and the players. Your obligation to them to make their time and their energy to come to this game worth it. And that's what I love about this, is because you can take a great story, a great adventure that they're working on, and just as a total side note, grab a coin or something and just something simple like that, which is what we're going to go into later. They'll remember that. We're several sessions in, we're half a dozen sessions in, and they remember that simple little moment. And those little moments of sleight of hand that you can throw in here and there, making something vanish or appear or move on the table, or some kind of manipulation, be it verbal manipulation that, we'll talk more about that as well later, but those moments can really matter to your players and they can make it very memorable. It's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this video series, is because, there's a lot that I can bring to the table as a new DM with the lessons I'm learning and share those with other new DMs. But as far as something that I can really bring to you and gift to you, that is these. So what I want to do now is we are going to talk about the French drop. And this will kind of be lesson 1 in our Magic at the Table series. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to discuss with you as far as actual sleight of hand is something very simple. It's just a little vanish. It's called the French drop. Its origins are kind of lost. There's been several references to it. Bobo and Modern Coin Magic discussed it. And it's a great little move, and it's used to vanish an object, just a small object. It's also called by the French le tourniquet. I never have called it that until this video, but I just called it the French drop. But so I'm going to demonstrate it to you, show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to walk you through it and how to practice it, because the big thing is, don't use these until you're comfortable with them. Don't use them until you can do them. The first time I was doing a French drop, it literally looked like that. Pretty crap. And I had a lot of friends and magicians over the years teach me how to make it look smooth, and that's what we're going to do. So let me show you the move. I'm going to stand up here. So let me show you the move, and then we'll go over how to do it. It's just that. Now let me give you an example of what was going on when we used this. My players had come across a very large arc important NPC who was observing them from a distance and took a coin, and then over their bag of gold vanished and their bag of gold grew. Now I just have it here. I'm using a dice because I don't have any of my nice gold coins here to show you, but this will suffice. Any small object will work. And so the move is just, again, it's simply this. Now, again, I talk about do this with confidence, and the best way to learn it is to just, start with holding it up and actually do it over and over and over. Get in front of a mirror and actually take that thing out of your hands over and over and over, hundreds of times, and get it to feel in your hands, get the muscle memory of that's what it's supposed to feel like. And then what I want you to practice next is this. Yep, just dropping it. Now, I've seen French drop done a lot of ways. A lot of people do it like that, but the best way I learned is just take your thumb, go in, and I'll show you everything now kind of exposed. Start to close your hand and drop the item. Now come away. Now this is exposed. You'd be tilted back a little bit and cup your hand, but nice and loose so it doesn't feel like there's anything there. Now, of course, that's not there. So just first practice actually doing it for real, over and over, hundreds of times in front of a mirror. And then, now this is exposed very heavily so that you can see what it looks like. Then once you get it down, do it with confidence, very nonchalant. And if you're sitting at a table, it helps too, because then if you've got, say, a towel or something on your lap, then you drop it, all the tension comes here because you're looking at this, so all your players are looking at this and say, what happened to it? And then you're free to let that go into your lap. Because where you're looking and where your attention is, that's where their attention will be. Pick that up. So if I'm staring at this hand, and they go like that, nobody cares. So just draw attention. So that's a very simple move, the French drop. And it's a good start, it's a good practice point. And if you just take a gem or something or a coin while you're DMing, while you're telling your story, and you just, it will make that moment, it'll make that simple little moment for your players. And they'll be like, what? Wait a minute, what? What the hell just happened? So it's pretty sweet. And that's one of the reasons I love bringing magic to the table, is to give them those little special moments. Because like we talked about, you owe them. They've given you their time, you owe them a good time, and you owe them memories. You owe them a memorable game. So I hope you'll be able to use just simple stuff like this. We're going to be doing a lot more videos about how to work with a deck of cards, how to vanish other types of things, how to make things appear. There's some specific effects I want to bring to you. I'm just talking with some of the creators about those, and hopefully we'll be able to bring those to you soon. But if you have questions on this, please leave me a comment, or feel free to email me. You'll find me around just at DMNoob.com. And if you have suggestions for other things you'd like to see, other types of videos, or stuff you'd like to discuss magic at the table, please feel free to get a hold of me. I'd love to chat with you about it, and we'll do some more videos on it. So thank you for your time. I hope you've been able to get a little bit out of this. I appreciate you guys. Give me a like and a subscribe, and share this around if you'd be so kind. Let people know, and stroke my ego with some kind of spiffy comment, or tell me I'm an asshole. That's fine. But thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again very shortly on the next video. Have a good day.